Hey everybody, VC out there in the VC world, YouTubers, wherever else this is being transmitted through the miracle of the internet. It's Tony here. Tony's LPs are us doing a salute. I'm going to give you my impressions of the John Lennon "Give Me Some Truth" 10-inch EP box set. Cheers. That I listened to in the last 2 evenings. It's a lot to go through. It's about 36 tracks. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll just give you my overall impression of the sound and the way the box is packaged. I did an unboxing, so you got an idea of what it looks like. And there's been numerous unboxings already. Some Beatle people on YouTube, some VCers were fortunate enough to get this box, which is this box here. It's very minimal. Everything is scaled back. You could hardly see the images, but there's some folks that got pre-releases from the Lennon estate, from Sean and Yoko. So this has been talked about for a couple of weeks now. But these are just my impressions after listening to 9 EPs, 4 tracks each, 2 tracks aside, and 45 RPM, which is great. But before I do that, I just want to do a little bit about Mr. Belafonte. Big fan of Harry Belafonte's acting, social activists, events. And Harry passed away. I believe he was 96. I believe he passed away either last night or this morning. I heard about it this morning, and it's been going on online and on some of the news shows. But this is RCA, Shady Dog. This is a stereo of Harry Belafonte at Carnegie Hall. And if you don't have any Harry Belafonte records, this is the one to get. This is an amazing sounding record. Here's the gatefold. Just have to clean that up a bit. But here's the gatefold. And this is just a tremendous sounding record. This has Cotton Fields, John Henry, Take My Mother Home, The Marching Saints, Deo, which he's famous for. One of his, if you don't know Harry, you know Deo. Danny Boy, Matilda, Mama Look a Boo Boo, My Trials. So rest in peace, Harry Belafonte. But this is a great one. This was reissued a few years back. I believe it was Analog Productions did a 45 box set on this. They took it because the tapes were just magnificent. This is a great recording done at Carnegie Hall. And this is, I believe, you just see here, if there's a date, 1959. This was recorded in or before 1959. The performances, benefit performances for the New Lincoln School, April 19th, 1959. So this is pre-59, right around this time, so 59 in April. So Harry Belafonte, get this one if you can. It's pretty common. Goes for a lot less money than the Analog Productions. If you can go for that one, that's the ultimate. But this sounds really, really good. So thanks for bearing with me on that. We'll just keep that here next to John. And so what I want to do is talk about the new mixes on this 10-inch. As you know, the mixes were achieved earlier, maybe 3 or 4 years earlier in the John Lennon box set that came out on his what would have been his 80th birthday. But I believe this has more tracks on it. So I don't really know the genesis of what's the difference, but This looks like it has more tracks. I don't have all the tracks here. Let me see. No, I guess they're both 36. So same records, and Yoko and Sean rather, chose the tunes that they wanted on this. So this is the box. Listened to it the other day. Was thoroughly impressed with it. The only gripe I have is the getting up and down. Obviously, it's, we all know from the one steps and some of the UHQRs, basically more of the one steps, where you may have two tracks on a side, and after 10 minutes you're up and you have to flip it over. But that's a gripe that we understand. What's interesting about this, and no one's mentioned this, I don't believe, but when I examine these records, and here's the first one, record one. When I examine these records, when I put them on the table, move this here, it doesn't fall. When I put it on the table, I noticed that there's the lip, which is the lip that were put on albums and 45s and 10 inches back in the day when a record changer was used, and theoretically the records won't lay on top of each other, but they'll lay on this outer lip. If you examine a modern album, a 12-inch, usually a 200 gram, or any modern album, the lips aren't there. It's just a flat surface. So I don't know if you can't see that, but there's actually a lip so that the record will slide only on the lip portion, and the record won't wear every other record on top. So these are made for changers. So I think it would really be a cool experience if you had a changer of some quality that could really do this justice, because I think they did a great job in remixing them. I'll go over some of the tracks. Instant Karma was the first track, and I was wowed by the quality of the sonics. I heard bass lines I didn't hear before. The drumming, where it was very organic, very prominent. You hear John's vocals way up front. There's Cold Turkey was just amazing. Isolation was amazing. Power to the People, right out there. And I never heard it as well. I have the 45 on that. And I think the 45 of that, the original, where John's out there with a hard hat, him and Yoko, and they're giving Power to the People peace sign. That was the picture sleeve on that 12-inch, on that 45. So really hats off to mixing and quality on those. Here we have Love, God, Power to the People, Imagine. Did I say Power to the People? This one was Isolation and Working Class Hero. The Working Class Hero was really touching because it's a guitar just an acoustic guitar. And they may have eliminated some instrumentals, incidental instruments that were in the previous mix. I'm not sure, but really, really impressive. Here's Love, God, Power to the People, and Imagine. All great. What they did was they actually extended the sound stage on these for 45. The sound stage is right out front. I noticed the quality varied from tracks, and I imagine that was because these were all recorded in different locations at different times, probably from '69 to the time of John's death, when his last album was being recorded in New York City. So because we have that whole span of work. But overall, really nice, quiet pressings. I got a little bit of noise, but that may have been tape hiss. And I only cleaned them once. I didn't go back. I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner. I do have a VPI vacuum 6.1 from VPI, and that's what I use. And here we have Jealous Guy, which was really touching. Give Me Some Truth, Oh My Love, How Do You Sleep. Never heard How Do You Sleep like this. It's almost seems extended. I'm sure it isn't, but it's a biting commentary on that point in John and Paul's life when they were having their issues, or maybe John was having issues with Paul. If you all know that, the the intent behind that. So, but like I said, listened to it, was very happy with the quality. John's vocals are prominent. The acoustic guitars come out. There's a really cool on this album, Angela from sometime in New York City, and Come Together, Come Together, which was really fun. Probably the only Beatles song that I remember that was actually a Beatle tune that was on here. Here we have Out of the Blue. These are very hard. This is a minimalist box set. Everything is scaled back. You can hardly see the images. The booklet, it's almost like it's coded. It's like invisible ink. It's the same booklet that was in the box set. And like I went over in my unboxing, the cover of it is the letter John wrote to Her Majesty when he was returning his MBE. This is Bless You on here, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, which is really good, the studio version. I Know. One track that stood out, I talked about, was Cold Turkey. Really hits home. Cold Turkey really, really hits home. This is another tune that was super. Stand By Me from, I believe, from that album behind me. I think it's the same track remixed. No, it may be the only record from John's Rock and Roll. Number 9 Dream, Angel Baby. And that's it. I'll just show you the album again, the record again. There's the record. It's in poly sleeves, really nicely done. I think Resolution could have been a little better had they gone and used more wax. They went like 3/3, and maybe that's because of the geometry with the arm, because you don't want to go too close to the label. But that's one issue that I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer, but it may have gotten better sound. I've heard 10-inch sounds, that 10-inch 45s that sound better, but that, like I said, a lot to do with the original recording, and these were remixed, so they try to keep the integrity of the original, John's thought, John's intent, John's emotion. The emotion is there no matter what. Very emotional. Once again, the only gripe is you have to get up every 2 songs. They're not long tracks. And that's about it. I do think that the packaging in the box could have been it's a little hard to pull out the records. The records are in there tight because of the book and the poster and the sticker. So you have to be very careful. There is no name, no indication on the spine. It's a very minimal, artsy, in Yoko's realm and John's realm, a very artsy, no waste. Nothing is on that. So when you look at this box set from the spine, and there is nothing on here, like most, as you know, most records would have a number, the title, 1 of 5, 1 of 9. And this has A Beautiful Boy, which is really touching. Just like Starting Over, very touching. Darling Boy, Watching the Wheels. So these are from the later years, and these sound really good. Newer recordings at the record, I believe, at the record plant in New York City. Cheers. Trying to keep with the minimal intent of this package. We used the white Elvis chipped, because I've had this cup for years. and I won't throw it out. Here we have I'm Stepping Out, Grow Old With Me, Happy Christmas, War Is Over, Give Peace a Chance. These are out of order, but this is album number EP number 9. You can see that right there. And I want to thank everyone again. I didn't do that initially, but it's always I'm always grateful of all the sponsors, all the likes, people watching. It's a small channel. We don't have a lot of viewers as far as subscriptions go, but I'm getting some nice feedback, and it's just something I want to share with everyone out there. I'm a big John Lennon fan, as you know. I talked about my lifetime love of the Beatles and John and the rest of the lab in the unboxing, so you can look at that if you want. It's my cure for insomnia. Here we have Woman. I can't even read these. Yoko song on here. Woman. Nobody knows you. Nobody loves you when you're down and out. No one knows you when you're down and out. So I'm not even. You could probably see that. I should have had a list to accompany this. But those are the 10-inch, beautifully pressed. No issues with the no defects, which is great, because like I indicated earlier or yesterday, if there was a problem, there's no more at the record shop. I was fortunate to get this. I think it's the rarest record store item I've seen in a long time, as far as rarity and as far as collectability. Coming from the Lennon estate, coming from Sean and Yoko's, tribute to their father and husband. So that's it. There's 9 EPs. Quality is great. No noise on the records. Very nice. John is up front. There's some stereo imaging on some of the tracks that I don't recall. Like I said, I haven't listened to some of the John's records in a long time, but I'm sure some of the Beatle people will be able to do a better judgment as far as the A/B comparison. But these mixes were done in the box set that came out as 12-inch records on John's 80th birthday, which I believe was September 9 of 2020. Here are the postcards that you can't even see. It's like a shadow. I put up on my first unboxing the whitewash box. It's almost like a whitewash, but it's a minimal box set, and you can see there the postcard. Here we have the sticker, which was supposed to be a bumper sticker, I believe, on the original. It's a bumper sticker. Here's the book again. And you can see this is the letter to the Queen. And John's returning his MBE which was pretty funny. John's sense of humor and Yoko's sense of humor. Your Majesty, I am returning this MBE in protest against Britain's involvement in the Nigeria Biafra thing, against our support of America in Vietnam, and against cold turkey slipping down the charts. With love, John Lennon. John Lennon of Bag. And he signs that right there. And here's some of the quick pictures there. I don't have the box set to compare it, but I think the box set wasn't as minimal, wasn't as faded. I do have a friend who has the box set and like the mixes in the box set. I didn't hear them myself. There's a shot again of John, and some pictures of John and Yoko. Picture of John, looks a little bit like Peter Sellers there. It's probably 65 or 66. Here's the poster. I'm not going to open it up again, but the poster is a 2-sided poster, just like the original. So that's it. I'm very happy with the sound quality of this box set. It's 45, so you would assume it's going to sound good, and it does. The mixes are great. They're modern. They're lively. Um, a lot of the acoustic guitars, I think, sound more prominent, more up front. Drumming is out there. It has an organic feel sonically, great sound. It's one of the rarest records in a long time as far as Record Store Day, and that it's a John Lennon compilation, and it's an official from the estate, from Yoko and Sean. It's just if you could get a copy, get a copy. You're going to pay more for it, but this is a record that I believe will never go down in price. Look at the Abraxas one step that came out, the first one step, where there were 3,000 copies made. This is half of that. This is 1,500 copies worldwide, and this isn't Santana. This is John Lennon. This is John Lennon, who was taken from us so tragically and in his prime. So if you could get a copy of this, you're going to have to pay more. But I think if you don't get a copy of it now, later on you'll be either buy as Chad says, buy now or cry later, basically. But it's a very expensive set. It's not for everyone. It's not for the average, peripheral Beatle fan or John Lennon fan. It's for the collector. It's for the artist. It's an art piece of art, the way it's boxed and put together with it's almost like a milky cloud. I can't even read I misread half the songs on here. But the music is there. The music you will not misread. The sound quality is there. Your system is going to love it. Just be careful. It's a 45. It's a 10-inch. When I put my cartridge down, when I lay my stylus down on a 10-inch, I am very cognizant of the fact that there's a gap between the record and the end of the platter. I've heard of horror stories, where they drop the needle previous to the 10-inch or 45, or either one, and that's disaster. That stylus will be ripped off the cartridge, and you will be either retipping or you will be getting a new cartridge. So be very careful. I always step up to my turntable. I had a problem with my UHQR, the Kind of Blue. I did a video on that, and it got my most views out of all my videos for a small channel. It got thousands of views for a small channel. So, and I just put that out there because I made a mistake, and I'm never going to do that again. I'm very aware. Be aware of your surroundings. I'm one that I think it's protocol too. When you're at a friend's house who has a nice rig, I don't touch the turntable. If I want something, he'll put it on. They come to my place. They want something, I put it on. You really have to know what you're doing with some of these tables, some of the more expensive tables, and of course some of the more expensive records. Records are not cheap anymore. A record. I have records that cost as much as my first turntable or my first amp, which is crazy, right? So, but enough of that. This is a long video again, 20 minutes, keeping the British end up. And thanks again for all you out there watching. I hope you can subscribe, help us build the channel, help us get out to more people. And I'm also going to put this on Sean and Yoko's Appreciation Facebook page. I did that for my unboxing, and I had tremendous feedback from the Facebook community of the Yoko Ono appreciation page, appreciation people, and Yoko Ono's Facebook page. I'm going to do the same with this, so it'll be up on that. And I want to thank Yoko again. And I want to thank Sean for putting this together and taking the time and making this right, making this special. They could have easily, it could have easily sold, who knows, 5 times as many of these box sets. It would have brought the cost down. You know, as you make more, the cost of each press, each record comes down. So these are expensive. Only 1,500 worldwide. Think about that, 1,500 worldwide. They could have easily made 7,000 worldwide. For God's sake, the Taylor Swift record that came out for Record Store Day, I think there was 175,000 pressed. And during that Record Store Day, they were on eBay and other sites going for up to $200 plus shipping and handling costs. So that's Taylor Swift. This is John Lennon. Okay, so think about that. But if you could get a copy, get it. If not, I believe that record is available. It's not too expensive. The original from 2020. The one that came out on John's birthday, Give Me Some Truth, 12-inch. So, once again, I want to thank Elvis, John, and again, rest in peace, Mr. Belafonte. I'm going to try to pull out my Belafonte records. Just as a footnote, trivia, I don't know the album, but you could look it up. The first, I believe, professional appearance of Bob Dylan was on a Harry Belafonte album where he played harmonica, right? I think he was signed with Columbia at the time, but it was his first job where he got paid as a recording artist. So that's on a Harry Belafonte record. So that's the Bob Dylan connection. So peace out, keep rocking, and thanks again, John and Yoko, and thanks everyone for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye. We're still rolling. Thank you. We're checking out.